I guess we had, we tried it once. We said, what the hell? And here we go.
Yep.
Second one is up. What's up,
So
buddy?
we brought
How are you?
some liquid refreshment.
Yep.
So it's after 5 o'clock.
Cheers.
Everyone.
Right. Beer Can Cold podcast coming to you live from the corporate headquarters of Bohr Brothers Heating and Cooling. And no, this is Coca-Cola.
Mine's not. You can see what mine is.
I'm still at the office, but so this is your two hosts that think they know a lot about a little, and maybe we do. I don't know.
So we've been told.
So we've been told. My name is J.G. Van Graan. This is Will Merritt. We will reintroduce ourselves a little bit more because I don't think the pilot will ever see the light of day if I can help it, because that one was a little rougher than I think this one is going to be.
It was good, though.
It was good. So, but I feel the energy today. It's going to be a fun one. We're going to kick off our podcast here. We're talking a little bit about culture, how to hire people, kind of what's within our companies and that type of thing. But I think we start, Will, by just kind of reintroducing ourselves. So I'll let you go first.
Okay. Will Merritt, been in the industry 29 years, worked in distribution for most of my career with JG here, and went from there to contracting side shortly. And then I have been on the marketing side. I'm one of the managing partners of Effective Media Solutions. So we're a full service marketing advertising agency, and our whole clientele is heat and air conditioning contractors, some plumbers as well, but that's all we do. And we do it from A to Z, from websites to TV and radio and everything in between.
Very, very cool. Also, one of our very first sponsors. I guess since I get to use the office, so our company should just be our first sponsors. I guess so. We'll edit the logos in.
There you go.
So
free publicity.
There you go. My name is J.G. Van Graan. So born and raised South African. I came here when I was 17 with a suitcase and $400. Dad said I had to go grow up, so I did. First thing I bought was a Bruce Springsteen CD. So I thought everybody should know that. Yep, I like that one. But I've done a little bit of everything in my life. Came over here to groom horses, and then heating and air picked me. I did not pick it. The whole necessity of your first child is on the way, and you actually have to find a real job, that kind of thing. And so started wrapping ductwork in an attic in Frederick, Maryland, for a company called Frederick Air, and kind of worked my way up. Did all kinds of things in heating and air. I've held many different positions within companies, and then ended up in distribution with you, Will. I did that for about 12 and a half years at Virginia Air Distributors. Great job, great people. Really love that group of guys, man. And then I decided to climb the corporate ladder and went into the software industry. Big mistake. No, I guess not, though. I learned a lot. I did that.
Learn from it all.
Oh, yeah. I did it for about a year and a half, and actually it was software that had directly to do with heating and air conditioning. So they tried to bring me in to be like the voice of the industry, right? Because there's a bunch of software guys. But I learned a lot about that industry, and it's actually very helpful now. But I did not like the job as much, and so I came back to one of my old customers. They needed an operations manager, and I started here at Bohr Brothers, and known these guys for... goodness, going on, man, I think about 10 years. And they kind of rescued me as it was. And I am very happy here. I get to help them run this beautiful company. And there's a lot of things. Yes, we have awards just like everybody else, but man, what a great place to be. And so that's kind of my story. But in that vein, been doing a lot of culture things lately. A lot of hiring, and I know you wrote several articles about culture.
Yeah, I pulled one of them up earlier just to kind of peruse it and kind of hit it. But I was on the phone with a customer today and told her we were doing this tonight, and I said we're going to talk about culture, and this company has a great culture. But back to what you said earlier about kind of your background, both our backgrounds. We worked at Virginia Air, and that was a great culture.
It was, and I'll tell you where the culture started for me at Virginia Air. It started at the top. And if it doesn't start at the top, it doesn't work, right? Accountability, loyalty, There's just some of the words, we did what we say we were going to do. We treated our customers the way we wanted to be treated. Ken Baker was the owner at the time, treated us like customers. We were,
Yep.
we were the best. And so I'm actually trying to bring a lot of that into here because there is a good culture here, but you could always be better, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's got to be a family team environment.
Yeah.
And it really does. And it's the work world is, especially the HVAC world is not easy. We all know that. And it's a lot of little things I think that make a difference. And I truly believe, a lot of people think it's a dollar mindset. Hey, I can make more money. I'm going to pay somebody more. And of course, money is part of it, but I think it's not the root of it all. I think it's people want to be, thought of and cared about, and a part of a team. Everybody wants to be wanted and
But
wants to be a part of a group.
a part of that, something that I've been, and I don't know how to put this in words, so I'm going to really mess this up. But there's something here with our younger guys, especially, that I am trying to kind of get across. Right? It's this mindset that I'm blue collar, so I don't matter. I don't know if you've seen that or not, but it's like, especially with our younger guys, it's like, well, I shouldn't be asking for this money. I shouldn't be doing this. I don't deserve the right or whatever. And it's like, I told one of my techs today, I said, you do realize that a surgeon cannot operate if a room is not at 66 degrees. So who's more important? You or the surgeon, right? It's like we need to start understanding in this industry, especially with our younger teams, is like, you are very valuable and you should charge accordingly. And I'm sorry, I know some homeowners might be looking at this podcast, but we put a lot of time and schooling into our guys. And I actually think it's part of the culture discussion, because if you have a group of guys that don't feel like they belong, you're going to have a tough time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that message needs to be, especially to the newer people in the business, and we're starting to unpack a bunch here. This could go.
Oh, it could go for an hour.
A deep rabbit hole, but it's the mentality of, in our culture, and probably the last 30, 40 years, all we've promoted was go to college, go to college, go to college. That's how I grew up. And I never knew any different, but college was very inexpensive back when I went to school in the late 80s, early 90s. But that was what was taught. And so we've kind of taught that, like, people that work with their hands that get dirty, that's not cool, and it's just not accepted. And I think it's the parents, oh, hey, my kid's going to this college and whatever, and then a parent almost feels like, well, my kid's not going to college. They're going to a 2-year school or a trade school or something. So, but those people are needed. But like you said, JG, they're so important, and this is an industry starved for people,
right?
And you can make great money in this, and not everybody wants to sit behind a desk all day.
No, I agree.
There's only some of those jobs out there. I love the versatility of this industry. I know I'm on kind of the marketing side now, but I'm doing different stuff every day. And the same thing for these guys. They're doing a lot of different things. It's not cookie cutter.
Well, we're living this in my house at the moment. So my oldest is a senior in college, and he is right in your backyard. He's on a rugby scholarship at Belmont Abbey University, and he's finishing up now, and decided to study supply chain management. Kind of want to go down Dad's rabbit hole with HVAC distribution and all this other stuff. And my middle one graduated high school last year, and it's like that. I no want or need to go to college. I want to be a heating and air guy. So in his senior year of high school, we got him in with a local company close by. Yes, he doesn't work for me because he doesn't want to. I'm just gonna be honest and put it out there. It's like, I don't know.
My son works for me, so that's he just graduated last May.
That's right.
He's doing well.
But it's like So I got him with one of my old customers, a guy that I just know is going to teach him the right and the wrong way to do things. Just a really ethical guy, and and he's flourishing there. But I tell you, the other day, the two boys almost came to blow in the house because my oldest was there, and he walked in the house with a Carhartt jacket on, and my middle son looked at him and said, "Don't you think you should be taking that off?" And the oldest one said, "Well, why would I do that?" He goes, "Because it's stolen valor. Only work people wear that." We're we're card, dude. And I tell you, that did not go over well. I had to step in there for a minute for a minute.
Wow.
But the point being that the middle one already has a very proud, I am here doing what I'm doing, because he's going through that really tough transition in heating and air where he's carrying some tool bags and he's the one in
Yeah.
the crawl space, but he's earning that badge of honor. But at the same time, with what the point I'm trying to make is that the oldest is going to be better because he went to college, because that's his skill set. That's what he was going to do. He's not the technical guy as much. My younger one has always been the technical guy, right? And so
Yeah.
it's like, I think if we can, the message to parents for me would be, is like, let your kid be who they're going to be,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then my youngest looks like she might be on her way to the Naval Academy. So it's like, I have this dichotomy in my house. But bringing that back to the culture discussion just a little bit, it's like figuring out and finding these young people that's really proud and proud to be a blue collar worker.
Mm-hmm.
And we can reinvigorate the sense of it's okay to be a heating and air guy, because I'm pretty daggone important and I'm gonna make a good bit of money. Because if I look at my
Mm-hmm.
kids, one is big time in debt because he went to college, the other one's making money, right? And so
Yeah.
is the one really better than the other?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think again, it's a mindset. It's like I said, you said HVAC chose you kind of when I got in it.
Yeah.
I was looking. I was out of college for a year or so, and I'd gone through a couple of jobs, and I was looking, and I knew somebody, a family member. My cousin worked in the industry and got me in it, and but back to culture, it was a great culture. It was Ferguson Enterprises at the
Yeah,
time.
that's
Great culture. I mean, I don't know what they did, how they got us to work the hours we worked, if the little pay that we got. I mean, I could have gone and waited tables,
right.
which I've been doing some of that prior, and made more money, for
No, yeah.
those amount of hours that we worked. But it created, just a good work ethic, instilled a great work ethic in me, and then I got to be, a passion for the industry, and then, speaking kind of culture too, just a lot of good people in
Right.
the industry all around, from the contractor side to the distribution side, and all in, far in between. It's just a lot of good people. So
So tell me this: you get to deal with several companies on a marketing level at this point. What would you say is some good culture traits that some of these companies put out there, to like the customer first culture? Like the customer is our lifeblood. Like, what do you see in those cultures that stands out to you?
no, I mean they care, just like we used to when we worked together. We cared about our customers. I think they care about their customers. They care about their employees. You know, I've got up an article here, and like you said earlier, JG, I think it comes from the top down.
Yeah.
You got to lead by example. You got to realize that, uh, you know, you basically work for the employees.
Right.
You really do. You got to have that mindset. They're not working for you. Not kissing the ring, so to speak. You are uh, their employee essentially.
Yeah.
And again, it's got to be a lot of little things. Like I said, money, of course, is a part of it, but it's got to be. I'm just thinking of doing what I see a lot of customers do. They know each other's families. They know who they are, and they encourage. They do multiple events.
Mm-hmm.
Each year. All the people, they do some fun stuff together. And again, like I said, it's hard work. So you got to have that. I take it back to the Ferguson days: the work hard, play hard.
Yeah.
To where you enjoy realistic being around. And I think about our company. We do a trip every year. Yeah, I host a Christmas party every year. As we keep growing, we got to almost bust people in.
Yeah.
Break them in from outside. But it's got to be something everybody enjoys being together. You got to promote that.
Well, but it does get harder. And I think that's why I'm
Yeah.
hoping through us doing this podcast and getting some feedback from some customers and or some people that would listen to our podcast is how they do things. Because I have 80 people here. That's a big group of people. So we do this. We're on this structure here called EOS. It's called the Entrepreneurs Operating System. I'm sorry, took a minute. But it's all about, and a big part of EOS is getting very structured and understanding right person, right seat type of situations.
Yeah.
And so quarterly we have a meeting that we lay out our goals for the next 90 days and what we're going to work on and all these things. And it's a company-wide meeting. And I'll tell you, it is hard when you run a $16 million company with 80 employees to find the time, number one, to get everybody in. So there's the customer still taken care of, to get it to a point where you have a space big enough to do it. And then financially, it's not cheap either to feed 80 people, right? So it's something we definitely do and something we enjoy doing. But you talk about that, a decent Christmas party for 80 employees with their families, it's a lot of money, And so it's like coming up with creative ideas to make everybody feel like they're part of the team, and moving forward. And then there's cultural things, right? The large group of our team here is Hispanic. Their culture is a little different, right? So to make everybody feel like they're part of the family, it's a big job, and it's something we take very seriously here.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, culture, I think, is it's one of the hardest parts of any business, not just this industry. One of the hardest things. You can't fake it.
No.
Being when we used to call on contractors, I could walk into a customer's office and you can feel. Today I do that. We don't see people as much face to face as our geography spread throughout the U.S. now. But some of the ones that are local, you go in their office and you can tell it's a good place to work. Others, you go in and you're like, get the vibe.
You're right.
Walk in, this is not a happy space. And over time, some people will tough it out and stay there, but a lot won't.
Yeah.
And that's why I think a lot of you see the turnover in the business, and then you see the reverse of that, JG. You see these people that they're celebrating their 20th year there, their 15th year, their 30th year, and like, how do you keep these people?
Right.
What's culture?
Right. Well, I'll tell you,
So,
one thing we're starting to focus on heavy here is how we hire and who we hire.
Well, that's a good segue. I was going to say, so how do you get the right people?
So I might not be a professional podcaster, Will, but I've listened to enough, right?
Nice cue.
So actually something that I'm digging in currently is we've been doing disc profile assessments. So so right now we're starting a plumbing division. We want to hire some plumbers. I have a need for at least 2 or 3 senior technicians. And then we do something a little differently. We don't normally hire, we used to in the past, but I think we're trying to get away from hiring senior level techs. And I'll tell you why, nothing against
100%
that.
agree with that.
Nothing against it, right? But I don't want their bad habits.
Yeah, they're bringing over things that was considered good maybe in another place that you may not like at all, and all sorts of things. And I agree. I don't think there's much way around. It's very hard too for a lot of companies to bring someone in, either very green or almost totally new to the business. If they've got the intangibles, the personality,
Well, we started. We needed to hire a service manager. That was my first goal when I came aboard, and that wasn't easy. I will tell you that I went through 24 different interviews before we settled on our service manager, and it finally dawned on me after a conversation with one of my old customers. You might know him, Adrian Stevenson. Any Day Heating and Cooling. Adrian thinks outside the box a lot, and I said I was having this discussion with Adrian, and we're talking about no longer hiring people from the industry, especially for management. Finding people that's good people that fit your cultural makeup, that will fit into what you want to do, and then you teach them what you want to teach them. And so I finally listened. So we interview this guy, Al Kearns is his name, and love the guy in the interview, but you walk away and you're like, man, and Al won't mind me telling the story because I know he's going to listen to this podcast and he's going to laugh because I've told him this several times.
Yeah, you've told me, I think.
So and it's like we walk away and you're like, man, that's really cool, but I don't know. Like, he's not from the industry. He's not, So we interview a couple other guys and we're like, man, we should talk to Al again. So we interviewed him like 3 times with 3 different people. And every time you walk away, I'm like, man, we don't know if we should pull the trigger. So then I quote myself, we would interview other people and I would take their disc profile assessments and compare them to Al's. And we're like, so finally we're like, we're idiots, just hire Al. Just like, it's like he
Quit
has.
fighting it.
We're fighting it because it's like he had, and it was an internal thing, and it was our stupidity because he didn't have that much heating experience, heating and cooling experience. He managed large cruise and apartment complexes, but there's just something about the way he did things, man. And
Yeah.
we hired him, and I tell you what, it has been amazing. And yes, we struggled a little bit, so we had to create some communication trees and elevate some technicians to take that on-call technical piece off. But what a great manager! And he's like, really, this department's going to do insanely good this year because we're bringing in one-on-ones. We're coaching the guys on how to talk to customers, and I'm telling you, man, he's a great manager. And so I've learned the lesson. So what we're doing now with young techs is we're getting them out of the community colleges. We go find them where they're in tech school. We test them not for the technical ability or knowledge. We test them on their personal skills, and we're looking at the disc profile assessments and see where they're gonna fall. And we've hired two, and I really love these guys, man. And technically, they're sharp; they learn quickly, but it's not why they were hired. They were hired because they're outspoken, they are friendly, they are
Communication skills.
no drama, just good dudes, right? And so, and I think that's the future. Honestly, I think that's how you build a company.
Well, I'll take it one step further with another one of our one of our customers. You know him. They hired a guy that he waited on at a pizza restaurant they went to every week.
Oh yeah,
And the guy was just great. And they just said he was young, I think like 19 or something. And so they just said that he was the man. Like people came in and requested this guy, and the restaurant would be empty, and he'd have like 6 tables, in his section because everybody wanted him.
Yep.
So they hired him, and they've been training. I think he's been there about a year or so now. He actually got in one of their TV commercials.
That's awesome. Well, I'll tell you,
Good guy. I mean, got the right skill set. He's got to learn HVAC now.
Yeah.
He's got the other intangibles, the communication, the manners, that type of thing.
well, we have a similar story here, and this is kind of what got the wheels turning even more. It's like I'm very blessed here. I have 3 amazing sales guys, and they do things outside the box. If you have any industry coach coming in here, they'll tell me exactly how bad it is that these guys are doing it. But the top one, Cody, our sales manager, did 4.5 million last year.
Wow.
Which is big, right? But Cody has been with the company for years. This is the only heating and air company he's really ever worked for. I think he had a short stint somewhere else, but he came in with Brian. Brian bore one of the others, and Brian brought him up. Well, Cody drives a diesel truck, and the diesel truck kept messing up, and so they always take it to the same dealer because this mechanic in town is very good. But Cody kept having issues with his truck, and it was getting angrier and angrier. And this guy, Josh Fargus, was on the counter, and Josh would just have this knack of talking Cody down off the hill, and just really got to a point where Cody really liked the guy. So finally, Cody said, "Listen, I think you should come work for us." That was 3 years ago. Josh sold $3 million last year, right? And it's this thing about getting people without the bad habits and bringing them in and sharing it with them. Now, is there a need every once in a while for a senior tech? I need one right now. I need somebody that can step in. But even that, we're interviewing guys, and I'm not finding what I need. I need no drama.
There's always so many out there. I mean, everybody's looking for that experience. You need 5 years experience, and there's only so many of those, unicorns or whatever you want to call them out there. But I think again, you gotta coach them, train them from within.
Yeah.
Hire for the, like I said, the mindset, and someone that's going to fit in to the company culture and believe in it.
Well, and that's now the next step, right? So we have identified a guy in our team that is very, very good. He handles all our warranty and startup issues and everything like that. Been here for a while and technically just amazing and loves to teach. So now this idea is being born, Ball Brothers University, and allow me to just dream for a minute, but it's like we're going to have the units set up. He's going to start coaching the guys here. And so we're trying to get to a point where from bringing a guy in Green to where he's running service calls and billing and after hours in 6 months. And that may be too short, but that's the dream. But then we see that even going further because, well, it is possible, but I think we see it going further. I think we see it getting to a point because there's a culture here within Bohr Brothers that we love other heating and air companies. We're not those guys that walk into a warehouse and hate the guy next to us because he might be taking our work. It's just not the way we are. And so we're hoping to kind of build this thing up to where it's good enough and bad enough to, or badass enough to where we open it up to companies in our area to say, send us your techs, we'll sign a non-compete or a non, we won't hire them for them, you know, bring them to us, let us help you coach them and train them up technically on how to do these things. So we elevate the industry in our area, because that's
Yeah.
how you get rid of the tailgate slammers, right? So it's a long-term vision, and it's going to take a lot to get that off the ground, and it's going to have to be trust with companies in our area. But I think that if they come and see our true heart of we just want to have good heating and air companies around us, I think we can make this happen.
Yeah.
I,
Well, I agree. I think so many people, so many contractors in our industry are so worried about, giving secrets away, worried about there's enough business to go around. But it's not easy though,
no, I
and
agree.
you gotta give the consumer what they want.
Yeah,
And I think that's a big part of it. I think there's a big disconnect between what the consumer wants and, what we're giving them,
no, I
you know?
agree.
And it's a hard thing for, it's a lot of money. My friends come to me when they have problems, and I'm like going, it's going to be a lot more than you think
Oh yeah.
to
Oh
replace
yeah.
a system.
Oh yeah.
But you want the right people you trust. Trust's the big thing.
Yeah.
You know?
And you know that it's that thing, and the whole EOS structure just hammers the fact that know your core values, understand your vision statement. Everybody knows why, And so for us, every Monday I sit down, I run the tech scorecards, I run the company scorecards, and I put them up. We have televisions all over the buildings, and all week long that just runs in a repetitive commercial, like how we did last week. What our core visions or our vision is, what our core values are, and then we just constantly. And now we're starting to get to a point where hire, fire, reprimand, it's all done on the 7 core values, right? Because now it's black and white, and all managers understands it, right? So
Yeah.
you have an issue with somebody that, and I think this builds a lot into this culture conversation, is really living those 7 core values. Do we always do it? No, we're human. We screw up, right?
No, sure.
Sometimes things happen. But I think if we just have that in the back of our mind and use those core values to run our company, the culture will just keep getting better.
Yeah. Well, you got to think about it. I think it's very simple. You treat others like you want to be treated.
That's right.
And I, I think, like I said, we're hitting on a lot of intangibles with the hires. It's very infrequent for a consumer to have a heat and air conditioning company come out, unless they have a maintenance agreement.
Right.
Hopefully you're building that rapport and relationship with them. But, it's, if you're not, the consumer doesn't trust you. And I think they have a bad, our industry has a bad rap.
Right.
You hear it all the time. All these people came out and, this, I looked it up. This igniter costs $15 on Amazon. They charged me $350.
That's right.
Well, it's all these other things involved with it. The license, the insurance, everything involved with the training, to have that person come out and do. They know that this is the right part. Here's how you put it on properly, and then your warranty. But you got to convey that value. And our industry does a poor job of that.
Yeah, we actually had a very upset customer today. Wasn't our customer. He called up out of the blue, installed a mini split himself, but then found out he couldn't charge it. So then got
Gotta love those.
We were really upset with the price we quoted him. And I'm like, I'm not sure you understand the labor, everything. Well, why won't you warranty your work? No, I'll warranty my work, but I'm not warranty your product. Like I didn't put it in, all these things. And so it just points to what you just said. It's like people don't realize what it takes and what it, we do this thing. We're going to do it again on Tuesday with our technicians, where we lay it out for them how much it costs for them to knock on a door. And we do this conversation every time we see our $0 tickets tick up. And I have this great spreadsheet, and I actually paid for it. Some spreadsheet guru sold it online for heating and air companies. Bought it a while back. And all you do is you go in there and you put in how much to pay that technician, what their benefits are, how much the benefits cost, take-home truck. You put a value on all that stuff. Then there's this little thing called efficiency. And people don't realize you don't bill a heating and air technician 8 hours a day. You can't, right? There's drive times, anything. So an HVAC technician's
billable hours.
Billable hours. It's only he's only able to bill 50% of his day, right? So that he's very inefficient. Installer's a little bit more efficient. And then, by the way, I'll tell you about kitchen in a minute. I found out something about refrigeration techs that's awesome for us, not necessarily for the consumer, but the whole thing is like you put all that together, and then you quickly find out a $30 an hour technician costs you $130,000 a year.
Yeah.
And people don't understand it. And so now I have 19 guys that makes about that much money. Do you know what my payroll is a year? And that you have to pay to keep the best, right? And so that's another part of the culture. If you don't pay well, so we're a living wage company. That puts a whole different spin on things, right? But you hire the best, you keep them, and the way you keep them is you pay them.
Yeah.
So, but what I was saying about kitchen techs, dude, that refrigeration department or industry is something that I don't know how much you know about it, but they just do this thing.
A little.
They do this thing called port-to-port charging. So if I'm done with this call, the next customer's on the clock the minute I start my truck. So they're 100% efficient. It's insane. I was like, people
I like that idea.
I like it too, but I don't think that's not going to go over residentially. By the way, I don't think we're going to get that done. But commercially, that's just what they do, and it's interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
So we're right at 31 minutes, and we can go on for another 2 hours, I feel. But I have an idea, and I don't know how this is going to work out. So this is where we can actually edit it out if it doesn't work. Or maybe we just leave it in, right? So I bought this little thing that hooks right into my podcast machine that says I can take this cell phone and I can call people on the fly. And it'll pull it right into the pot. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
So I think we just do this little segment at every podcast where we call somebody and see if they answer. And if they do, we just hang out with them for a minute or so. How do you feel about that?
I like it.
All right. Who do
person on the other end of the line, it could be different depending on who was calling.
I also need to, I don't know, I felt like if we prep these people, it wouldn't be so much fun, right? So I think, what I was just thinking, for the first time ever trying this, and I'm going to completely screw this up, I think we call our old boss. What do you think?
Okay.
Do you think he'll take our call?
Potentially, yeah.
You think so?
He'd probably take it from you over me. Maybe not. I don't know.
All right.
The last couple of times I've called him, he answered.
Let's see what happens.
So.
Is it going? Is it ringing? Technical difficulties. Hold on.
Yeah, that's fine.
Let's see. We're going to turn that off.
I'm reading a benefits email from one of our new employees. He's getting on our health insurance. So I'm just perusing that. Oh, I can hear it ring.
Oh. Let's see if he answers. I don't think he's going to answer.
I bet he calls you back though.
Maybe.
That's my money. As long as he'll call you back.
Nope, didn't answer. I wanted to cut it before. All right.
So that could be a nice tease that we put out on social media. That, beware of a call on Wednesdays at like 5:30, 6 o'clock.
So maybe we do one more. I have one more guy in mind, but I'm wondering if this guy, if he'll answer the phone. And then if he does, what he will say right away. See, his name is Danny Wilson. What do you...
He won't answer.
You think you'll answer?
No, not at this time period. During the day, yes. Excuse me.
Let's see. He might. No.
Never know. Like I said, I think we teased this thing out a little bit.
I think so.
Might become attuned to beware of the phone call from JG.
Yep. No. So And I think why Burris didn't answer, I just realized I have 2 SIM cards in that phone. I think I called him from my work number, and he probably didn't recognize it. So
okay.
anyway, I think this will be a fun thing to do if we can get it teed up a little bit.
Absolutely.
A phone
No,
call on
no,
the fly.
I'm excited. I appreciate it. And give you guys the long and short of this. I've gotten more into listening to podcasts personally, and it's a lot of, some of it's Joe Rogan and that type of thing, but it's a lot of, some industry stuff as well. And I had wanted to do this for a number of years and kind of started messing around with it in 2019, right before COVID hit. And then that all happened. And so it got shelved. And then, JG had me on his podcast back in February of last year out in Phoenix.
Yep.
That was really cool. So we were out at a mutual event. So I was like, so I'm glad you pushed us to do this. We'll have some fun with this.
No, I agree.
But, everybody will put up with us. We some may be better than others, but we got a lot of war stories. Been around the industry for a while. And love the industry. I can't convey that enough. How much we love this business.
Well, and we have so much to talk about, right? There's so much we can cover. So, well, good. I think that this was a decent place to cut it, and we'll figure this call thing out a little bit better. And I think there's so many people we can call. And the other thing is, I would love to get to a point where we just have interviews too, and do some live on location stuff. We talked about maybe hooking up in Florida, at some point.
Yeah, I've already been talking to people, and they're all, I'd love to. So I bought JG's pushed me to buy some of the little 4-track recorders. So I've got this. I just got it in a week or so ago. So I have not gotten it out of the box. It's in the floor behind my desk here. But I will. And like he said, we've got a bunch of events coming up. Some dealer meeting type things. Got the Pro Partner event out in Vegas coming up. So definitely going to take it, and going to let a couple of our employees run wild with it too. I can imagine.
So where plug your next? Where are you going to be first? Where can customers go see you?
Next thing we've got on our calendar is Carriers, the CE event down in Greenville next month. I think that's February 13th. It's just a one-nighter. And then 2 weeks after that, we go to Orlando for SBE, Service Business Evolution.
Yep.
Coaching, contracting, consulting group. Going with them. So we'll get out there for 4 days. So we'll definitely get to interview and talk to some people there.
Yeah, I'm thinking I might come down for that one. I'm trying to figure out. I'll need to get the dates from you, but I think I'm going to try to work it. I have to go to Florida early part of February, so we'll figure it out.
This is, I think, the last week, and then got a little thing for McCall's. They've asked us to come do a little presentation at multiple locations, and then Vegas end of March, going to the first week of April.
I'm not going back there. I was there 3 times last year.
I'm not a gambler, so I'm already. My wife is going, and my son Jackson, who works with us now.
Yep.
They're both going, so there's going to be a good bit of free time. But I'm just not a gambler. I mean, I might throw something in a slot machine, or I might throw some ice on a craps table, but I'm not a gambler. So
no, same thing. I don't much care for Vegas. So, all right. Well, I will see you again next Wednesday. Wednesday is just when we record, and we try to release this by Friday. And hopefully our YouTube channel opens up soon. As they said, we have to be 30 days before they'll open us up soon.
I think that's something new because we've had to set up YouTube channels for customers of recent. They hadn't done that. Could be, who knows? Google changes the rules all the time. But I think here'd be a thing too, JG. We can do is we can throw out each week. What do people want to hear?
Yeah,
ideas of topics. We've got a million we could talk about and come up with, but just say, hey, anybody?
Hold on, Mr. Burrish.
What are you doing?
I have to warn you, sir. You just called into the Beer Can Cold podcast with J.G. Van Graan and Will Merritt. How are you, sir?
You are live.
Well,
you are live, sir.
That is not good. That's all I know.
We are actually doing our very first recording, and we thought that there would be no better person to call on our first podcast than you, because I know you are a big fan of us, and we're a big fan of you. So it just seemed like that was a good one to start with.
That's excellent.
How's things?
Well, loud and clear.
Yeah, how's things in the land of distribution?
It's wonderful. We get snowed in a lot, and it doesn't really even snow, but they take a snow day anyway. That's how it works.
Yeah, you will be proud of me. I had several techs called out today, so me and my service manager jumped in a pickup truck and we ran some calls. Sold a unit on my first call, so that's how we roll.
Nice.
That's awesome.
So, well, Mr. Burrish, we just want to give you a call. We want to invite you at some point to be on our podcast. I think we will do another steak cook at Will's house, and we'll turn the mics on for that one.
I think that's an excellent idea.
That'd probably be a highly watched one for the shenanigans.
100%. We'll have to maybe wait until it gets a little warmer. That could be a sit out at the bar outside.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, that's awesome. Well, thanks for calling us back. That
What
kind
do
of makes
you
us
guys are? Where are you both? At the
So
moment?
I'm in my office at work. So we record Wednesday afternoons after 5 because it's a beer can cold podcast. And even though I'm on premise and only allowed to drink Coke, Will can have a beer, right? So
I see.
I'll have to move this to my home office, I think. But and so we're just doing it through a app that brings it all together. So as soon as I got this done, I'll send you the link and you can listen.
Excellent. So is Will Merritt in Charlotte then?
Yeah,
Doing
I'm in
this
my
remote?
office.
Yeah, he's in Charlotte.
Gotcha.
I'm in Durham, so we're able to put it all on one screen via this great technology and the interwebs.
Mm-hmm. Sounds
The old
awesome.
interweb.
So,
The old,
well, thank you, sir.
the World Wide Web. I've heard of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. No, we have. So, well, thank you for calling in. We're wrapping up the episode here, so I'll send you the link as soon as it's live.
All right, later, buddy.
All right. Thanks, Gary.
Hey, man.
See you guys.
All right.
Told you we'd call back. Didn't I say that?
That couldn't have gone better. That is awesome.
That's awesome. No, that was great. So yeah, I think that we'll start warning some people.
Yes.
Beware. Phone call at 5:15, 5:30 on Wednesdays.
Yes.
You know.
Well, great. Well,
Cool.
Did I break it? I broke it. No, I didn't.
Uh-oh.
No, I didn't break it. I just needed to figure out how to push the button.
No.
Well, great. Well,
Well,
so
cool.
we'll wrap this one up. We'll get back together on Wednesday. And I have a great week, man.
Yeah, you as well.
Heal up. All right, buddy.
All right. See you next week. Thanks.
All right, bye.
Bye.